a queen.
It seems as if entertainment companies now aren't just satisfied with bona fide success, whether you're talking about video games, movies, TV series, what have you. We now have to go and actually make everything a sequelized, spin-off, franchise aspect of things. That we need to go and actually milk the cow until everything is done with that particular series. Sometimes to success, sometimes to failure. Queen Charlotte takes a shot at this modern business move. A story in a fictionalized version of Great Britain in the Bridgerton world. The story tells of Charlotte, a woman of more blood, or more specific for us modern folks, a woman of African lineage, and her forced betrothal to King George. In this style that can only be synonymous with Shonda Rhimes, this is a drama series about queens, kings, monarchs, marriage, love, duty, politics, and sometimes even romance. If all those things sound intriguing to you, you're probably the target audience for this series. Now, I personally love medieval battles and quests and things like that, but this whole drama about marriage and relationships, I have to say, isn't my cup of tea. So I'm going to be giving the perspective of a casual viewer, but I'll give main target audiences a perspective as well. You see, I watched the first 2 episodes of new series that are on streaming services just to see if they're worth your time. If that sounds intriguing to you, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe, and let me get into this review. Queen Charlotte premiered on Netflix in May of 2023. It has 6 episodes each, and each episode is roughly about 55 minutes. It stars let me get ready to make fun of myself. India Amartifio, Andoa, and Michelle Fairley. When watching a series like Queen Charlotte, a casual doesn't care too much about setting. The characters are the driving force behind it being watchable. Those characters need to be interesting, deep, and relatable. It also helps to have some good scenes that just pop, whether they be dramatic, action, or comedic. Now, mains want a rich story with some juicy drama, or perhaps a bit of intrigue. Let's see if Queen Charlotte brings any of this. The acting is average to above average in the series. The portrayal of Charlotte is central to this series, obviously. Everything depends on conveying her character flawlessly. She is leaving her homeland surrounded by people that look like her to wed in a society that looks and feels nothing like her homeland. She is strong-willed, intelligent, regal, and most importantly, alone. India Amarfatio plays young Charlotte, while Golda Rochevelle plays Queen Charlotte. They both do a great job. Her trying to be a lady and optimistic in her younger days, her being a practiced proper queen in her later years, both actresses are good in their portrayals. Another character I liked was Armesta Thomas as young Attica Danbury and Corey Michaelcrest as young King George. Their characters have a charm to them as well, as seeds of ulterior motives that are easy to latch onto. Supporting characters are average to decent. Now I'm going to go and actually say acting is a little bit more on the plus side for this series, not because it's spectacular, but because it revolves around Charlotte, and the 2 actresses that play her are very good. The aspect of how Charlotte's character develops is good. She adapts from being a bit childish and selfish, but she is also doing what her station in life calls for. This marriage being thrust upon her and George, it is deemed the great experiment for obvious reasons. Her trying to adapt to this life, the political drama, trying to figure out if she loves George or not, and in her later years trying to continue the bloodline are all various different plot lines in this drama series. We flash back and forth from her younger days to her older years, and it shows where and who she was and why she is who she is now. We can see the parallels being drawn between her and her mother-in-law, and it's interesting. Mayans will likely be drawn into this story. Casuals will be okay with it. At times, it seems a bit boring, but there are also times when you can get drawn in. Kind of depends on where you're at in the story. So, some things that I didn't expect from this series. Now, I got more than like a few laughs out of this. There are some petty shots taken behind the scenes in this monarch drama series.
Love can bloom from the thorniest of gardens.
Your flower metaphors make me nauseated with their sweetness, but I applaud your point.
Now, I'm guessing this is on par for these types of shows, but it struck me as fun. You have to be on board with pettiness and the setting of ye olde England to really appreciate this series. The other obvious factor to this is race and its place in the setting. However, what they do really well in this series is you notice it for about the first half of the first episode, and then it kind of becomes a non-factor until they bring it up into the story for it to matter. It's very well done in that way, and it makes it more of a seamless melt-in type of story. So those are my initial thoughts for Queen Charlotte. But what's my verdict? For main target audiences, I'm going to say watch the first 2 episodes. I think the story and characters are done well. The costuming and sets, very intricate and interesting. Both versions of Charlotte are intriguing and will keep main audiences drawn in for the 2 episodes to see if you want to continue with this Bridgerton story. For casuals, I'll say give it a 1 episode watch. Again, the series is executed pretty well. The story of Charlotte coming into her home as queen is fun and charming, and there are scenes in this that may speak to a casual viewer of this monarch drama series and intrigue you, whether it's comedic, whether it's the drama, scenes that might go and actually draw you in. So again, for target audiences, watch the first 2 episodes. For casual viewers, give it a 1 episode watch. And that's what I have for Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story on Netflix. Check it out.
You are breathtaking. You break rules, court scandal, and the most royal person I've ever known.
It is you and me. Together.
My goodness, you stayed for the entire time. I appreciate you. Much love. Do me a favor. If you kind of like this, go ahead and actually click like. If you really like this, subscribe and share. And if you didn't like this, do me a favor, go and actually leave comments. Let me know, what you didn't like or what you disagreed with. But in any event, if you also like any of this, go ahead and actually click one of the other reviews that I have lying around here. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.